Well, New Japan Pro Wrestling has just begun the road to Dominion. We're not 100% sure if Dominion will continue despite the fact it's been postponed due to the surge of the COVID-19 down in Japan. Also, we got AEW Dark doing their show on their show called the Fan Fest. It took place before Double or Nothing. And also, we're going to see what matches are set to be placed in this coming NWA pay-per-view when our shadows fall. And also, don't forget about NXT with their big main event for the NXT Tag Team Titles between Legado de Fantasmas, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza taking on MSK. So, let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, Jay right here. So let's begin with New Japan Pro Wrestling's Road to Dominion. As you know, I've mentioned it's been postponed, but apparently the schedule is still there, but we'll see what happens then. Now, this particular event had a pretty good main event with, of course, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles on the line. But we'll get to that, so let's go from start to finish on this particular event. We had Yuya Uemura teaming up with, of course, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Roppongi 3K, taking on Suzuki-gun's Minoru Suzuki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and of course El Desperado, as we call him, Despy. Now, the reason this match is set is because it's already been told that Roppongi 3K's member, one half of the Tag Team Champions, Yo, is going to face Despy for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Now, Despy was recently a double champ in the Junior Heavyweight division, both as a Tag Team Champion and, of course, a singles competitor. Now, Yo, on the other hand, since his return, made his priorities now known that he wants to obtain the tag team titles, but now he wants to go a little higher. Yo, on the other hand, has already tried that, but we don't know how this played out. But however, this match between Uemura and Roppongi 3K was a real mess. Apparently, as you know, Suzuki-gun don't play around. They like to attack all their opponents, trash them, toss them through the bike rails, all of that. But of course, this led for the Suzuki-gun to win their matches. That's always been their field play. But it is what it is. Next match, we got Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, Taiji Shimura, Chase Owens, and of course Evil. And don't forget their sidekick, Dick Togo, taking on Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, Tomoki Honma, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, there was no story build-up in this particular match whatsoever, but it was a good match. It did show the Bullet Club being the same Bullet Club that we know, with their tactics where they cheat their way through, and not to mention Dick Togo being on their side, allowing him to win. And that's exactly what happened in this match. Bullet Club won their match, in particular in this one. The next match, once again, we're still seeing the rivalry between United Empire's Jeff Cobb and Kota Ibushi. So this time we have Khan and Cobb teaming up against Yota Tsuji and Ibushi. This is one of those rivalry matches that will continue on until one of them comes up as the winner of the respected match that we still yet to see between them. But as you can guess, this match ended with Jeff Cobb pulling his own Kamigoye, or as they call it, Kabigoye. But we'll see where we're going to go from there. Next match, we have the LIJ members, all four of them, Bushi, Sanada, Naito, and Takagi, taking on all four members of Chaos, the three current never openweight champion and never openweight six-man tag team champions, Yoshihashi, Ishii, and Goto, teaming with the Rainmaker and also one of the top competitors to face for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Now, keep in mind, this is a story build-up. Naito, Bushi, and Sanada are challenge for the never openweight six-man tag team titles against Yoshihashi, Ishii, and Goto. And as for Takagi and Okada, they are now the top competitors to compete for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Now, my initial assumption, I wasn't sure if Okada wants to challenge for this title because A, it was a Bushi who decided to combine both the heavyweight and the intercontinental championship. Okada is one of the few wrestlers who was not 100% agreed with the idea, but for whatever reason he decided, okay, I'm just gonna challenge it no matter what. So looks like, but it was obvious to me ever since that Takagi would get that opportunity. But however, in this particular match, it went so amazing where Goto picked up the victory for his team when he pinned Sanada. But however, the rivalry between these two teams will continue to stretch forward to whenever we have, of course. Now, tomorrow, in the 2nd of June, for the Road to Dominion, the never openweight six-man tag team titles are on the line. This is the 5th defense from Chaos members Yoshihashi, Goto, and Ishii against the LIJ's Bushi, Sanada, and Naito. As for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, that is still coming up. We don't know if Dominion will happen, but we'll just wait and see. Now, the main event is for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. To my surprise, I did not expect to see her return. I'm talking about Miho, who has always been a valet to Taichi for who knows how long. We haven't seen her since the beginning of the pandemic, and seeing her kind of brought in like the Lucky Charm stuff that you probably needed, because Dangerous Tekkers have been dealing with GOD for months trying to obtain these titles that they felt they are the true masters of these titles. And of course, they had to deal with Yado many times over. In this particular match, you see Geto even try to help, but however, he was taken out by Doiki. So basically, they weren't going to fall for their usual tricks, but somehow Dangerous Tekkers were able to defeat GOD and regain what was theirs. And of course, you got Miho crying, that she can't believe they actually pulled it off. But the real question remains is now, does GOD will get another shot at the titles, or is there another tag team out there who wants those titles badly? We just got to wait and see. I can't wait to what's going to happen the following day. So right now, let's keep moving forward with AEW Dark. Okay, so as I mentioned before, AEW Dark took place during FanFest the day before Double or Nothing, which is a good show. However, this is the first time we see Dark having audiences the same way we've seen with Elevation. Right now, let's just go from start to finish on this one. This one only went up for the lengthy hour of an hour. So let's start from there. The first match, we have the Wingmen, consistent of Cesar Bononi and Ryan Bennett alongside Peter Avalon, taking on the Gun Club, Colton and Billy Gunn. As you know, Austin Gunn is still out of action ever since he got injured in the hands of Anthony Ogogo in those punch right to the gut. But the match was pretty interesting because you see there was a similar hype between Billy Gunn and Cesar Bononi. That was really good. So basically, this is one of those matches you weren't sure how this was going to be played out, because normally we've been seeing the Gun Club making appearances only in Dark and of course in Elevation, but seeing the Gun Club was able to pull it off. I was amazed how Colton was able to pick up the victory when he put Ryan Bennett in the Colt 45, picking up the 1-2-3 and winning for his team. But I can't wait to see Austin come back. It will be an awesome time to see. Now, we already know who won the Double or Nothing Casino Battle Royal. Jungle Boy has already made his priorities what's up ahead of him. He knows he has to face against Kenny Omega for the AEW World title. He's teaming up this Wednesday with Christian against the Private Party, and now his obstacle in the main event of AEW Dark is against Bear Bronson, a guy that he and Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt had dealt with in the Kong versus Godzilla match that took place a couple months ago. The next match we have is Chris Statlander along with the Best Friends taking on Robin Renegade. To be honest with you, the match was good, but however, I was a bit surprised to see that later on at the end of the match, you see blood coming out of Chris Statlander's mouth. Now, either was a tooth or was the pierced lip. It's still unclear what it was, but hopefully I can find out more. I hope she's okay, because if it is the earring, the lip earring that's right here, then that's what happens. The next match we see a combination of a trios match. We have Serpentico of the Chaos Project teaming up with TH2, and Luther is coming along for the ride, taking on the Dark Order members Stu Grayson, Alan Five Angels, and of course Alex Reynolds. Now the match was pretty good. They are the fan favorites by many fans, and of course, don't forget Luther got involved, and of course the remaining members of the Dark Order, Johnny Hungy, Evil Uno, and of course Colt Cabana chased Luther. But this match ended in favor of the Dark Order. I think right now many fans are enjoying to see the Dark Order, and of course the Dark Order later on did say they are happy to have the fans' reactions, which is something that's been missing ever since the start of the pandemic, and I know many fans felt the same way too. Now, the next match is a women's match. We have Diamante taking on Red Velvet. Good match. There were some spots that I felt like they were a little bit slow paced, but of course they had to keep pushing forward. But I did like it because it felt great, because you got two of the interested women. As you know, Red Velvet is now being more recognizable as a competitor. Not sure how she's doing in rankings, but we can expect to see her one day reach to the top 5. As for Diamante, well, she's impressive as a striker, and being hard-hitting as she is. But however, it was of course Red Velvet who picked up the victory when she did the spinning heel kick onto Diamante to pick up the 1-2-3. Now the main event is Bear Bronson taking on Jungle Boy. Man, that was a good match. This is another match where it's like David versus Goliath, big guy versus small guy. You know how this is going to go. But however, when you watch Jungle Boy, he's becoming a very impressive wrestler you can get behind. That is something we need to pay attention about. As you all know, Jungle Boy is the current challenger for the AEW World Title, and I say let's get behind him. But of course, he won the match as always when he pulls up the snare trap. As always, that's always been his signature maneuver, and I enjoy watching Jungle Boy what he can do. So right now, let's move forward with what matches is going to take place for this coming Sunday's NWA's When Our Shadows Fall. Now, as I mentioned before, NWA's latest pay-per-view was in fact is coming up. It's called When Our Shadows Fall. There was no NWA Powered, but they did have the Power Search episode. Mostly it's more like with one match, and of course people talking about certain things that are taking place before the pay-per-view. Now, I'm not going to talk about that because it wasn't too important, but however, here's the matches. Here's one of the matches that was surprising me. Involves the women's championship match that's going to take place. Now, as you know, there was a one-on-one, a number one contendership match in the last NWA Power between Camille and Thunder Rosa. It appears they made a decision. They're going to have Camille challenge Serena D for the title. Now, Camille did say she is confident that she's going to win this title and win it back for the NWA. Of course, we got the NWA World Heavyweight title, or as we call it, 10 pounds of gold. Nick Aldis taking on Trevor Murdoch. Billy Corgan did stated that he did value these two guys are two Harley Race's competitors, but Nick Aldis believes Trevor Murdoch is not even worthy, but because he thinks that he dishonors Harley Race. But no, Billy doesn't see it that way. Next match, we have a three-way World Tag Team Championship match. We got the War Kings, who could have won the match, but all thanks to the interference. Billy Corgan did state he knows who was behind the mask. I know who it was because I can tell. It's Slice Boogie. But the War Kings, not only the War Kings are involved, we got Latimer and Adonis. As you know, these guys had a shot for these titles, but however, they walked out. But they're going to give them that chance because they probably earned it. And don't forget, we still got the champions who are at odds with each other. I'm talking about Kratos and Aaron Stevens. But however, we will see who will walk out of it. Would it be the War Kings? Or is it strictly business Latimer and Adonis? Or Aaron Stevens and Kratos will remain as champions? Well, I don't know. Next is we have a women's tag team match. We got Thunder Rosa and Melina taking on Terrell, and her partner was someone I did not expect. We haven't seen her for almost a year. I'm talking about Kylie Ray. Yes, you heard me well, people. Kylie Ray is back. You probably saying, what the fudge? We heard that she was retired. Look, we have talked about Kylie Ray many times over. I get it. But keep in mind, me and my buddy Nico have talked about her. We know that maybe she has some problems mentally or health issues. I don't know. But whatever it is, we need to be more respectful about it. Trust me, that's something we have to respect. Next match is a non-title grudge match. We have Tyrus and Austin Idol taking on, Tyrus along with Austin Idol taking on the Pope. So the television title is not even on the line. Then we got a tag team fatal 4-way. We got the Inconsistent Apparel, and I forgot his name of his partner. We got Mecha Wolf and Bestia 666. This was a big surprise to me to see these guys in. We got Rocket and Slice Boogie as one team, and then we got Renara and Rudo. Now the final match they announced is Crime Time's JTG versus Fred Rouser. This is very interesting. Finally, we're going to see JTG involved. We haven't seen him since. I know he was heartbroken with the sudden loss of his pal. I forgot his name. It's really sad, but now it's great to see him back. So these are the matches that are taking place this Sunday. So if you guys have Fight TV, you can watch it there or anywhere you can find it. So that's pretty much it for this. So let's keep moving forward to NXT. Okay, the opening match for NXT was supposed to be a number one contenders match for the NXT Championship that's going to take place at Takeover, NXT Takeover in your house. We have three competitors: Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, and Colorado. The match was crazy. Pete Dunne trying to break fingers and all that. You wouldn't imagine how that went. But however, the match was cut, all thanks to the sudden appearance of Adam Cole. Now, Adam Cole feels that everybody has been trying to replace him. So he feels that he is the one who is worthy to get back what was his. He escorted, what's his name? William Regal brought security to escort him out. But however, things got out of hand after that whole ordeal. Ember Moon was calling out Raquel Gonzalez after what she did to Shotzi Blackheart. But of course, it became an ambush thanks to Dakota Kai and attacked her. So basically, William Regal was losing control of this entire situation. So basically, don't know, it hasn't been told what's going to take place for the NXT TakeOver main event for the NXT Championship. Now, as you know, recently, LA Knight believes that he is the guy who can embody the legacy of Ted DiBiase, aka the $1 Million Man. So he had to go through Jake Atlas. Now, this match was pretty good. I did like Jake Atlas. I'm a big fan of him. He's really amazing athlete. I love what he can do. But however, as soon as much of the match, LA Knight was mostly focused trying to impress Ted DiBiase, but he needed to stay focused. But of course, Cameron Grimes shows up, tries to tell him all this, trying to negotiate business with him, like, you know, look at him, he's not paying attention, you know. So basically, the more that was happening, the more Cameron Grimes wants to be the guy who can embody the legacy of Ted DiBiase. But however, LA Knight did lose focus. He did not pay attention. He got cartwheeled by Jake Atlas. But it did told by for the NXT Takeover in your house. He's gonna face LA Knight. So this is gonna be one good match. Now, at some point in the match, Orny Lorcan felt he had to run his mouth and say that he could have won the match. Pete Dunne should have won it. But however, theoretically, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for Adam Cole, and Gargano would have won. So basically, we got two people who basically believe that their guys can win. But it wouldn't surprise me if somehow this coming Tuesday for next week we see Theory and Lorcan face off each other. That wouldn't surprise me. Now, Adam Cole once again returned to the ring, tried to give his peace of mind, saying that none of these guys are there to replace him. They will never be there. But of course, he calls out Karrion Kross. Now, Karrion Kross tells him to give him his peace of mind, saying, "You have stopped being special the moment you lost the title," and that kind of like went down the belt for Cole. Basically, they're going back and forth. Now, Karrion Kross made a decision. Basically, because Cole ruined the #1 contendership, so he felt, okay. So he asked Regal for one thing. Give him all of these guys. He wants Cole, Dunne, Gargano, and O'Reilly in the same ring against him. Is going to be a 5-way match for the NXT title. Now, this is going to be huge and also chaotic. So this is going to take place in NXT Takeover in your house. I'm excited for it. Now, as you know what happened, we saw Indy Hartwell. She can't believe that she broke Dexter Loomis' heart. She was listening to 80s power ballads. Yeah, if you guys are not fans of that, then you guys know what I'm talking about. This is the kind of music your mom used to listen back in the 80s. My mom was never into that. But however, later on you see Dexter Loomis crying. Now, do we see them back together? I don't know. This is more like what Beth Phoenix says, a Cinderella story. I don't know. Now, we have an open challenge for the NXT Cruiserweight title. We have Kushida taking on this new guy named Carmelo Hayes. It was a good match. Now, I don't know who the hell is Carmelo Hayes, but he really, really put up a good performance in this match. However, it was Kushida who put him in a hoverboard lock, making him tap out, which is good. Now, recently we have been seeing Xia Li's Boa made an appearance watching over Mercedes Martinez, and Martinez got marked. But why was she marked? That was the real question. It turns out that Xia Li hasn't forgotten her first match when she first arrived in WWE. I'm not talking about her first match when she went to NXT. Her first match at the Mae Young Classic. Both these competitors were involved, and that was a match where she lost. And she believes that Mercedes Martinez is standing in her way of her destiny, and she needs to be purged. So basically, that's why she's targeting her. But however, Mercedes Martinez doesn't buy that. She believes that, no. I'm not standing in the way of your destiny. You're standing in my way. So basically, it's more of the he said, she said type of scenario. So hopefully we can see this match at TakeOver. I'm not sure. I would love to see it happen. Now, recently we did see MSK gave a statement saying they believe that they could win this match because they're not going to lose to Legado del Fantasma. As you know, Legado believes they are the true leaders, the true champions that they deserve to be. But, of course, MSK has to put every ounce of fight they got to retain the titles, and that exactly is what they're going to do. Now, the next match we have, it's a tag team between Zeta Raymer and Zoe Stark versus the Ways, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. It was a good match. I did like a moment where Zoe Stark stood on her own 2 feet against these women, but however, the match ended in the Way's favor in every way. But the real question is, who will be competing against them for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles? Now we get to the main event, the NXT Tag Team titles. Legado de Fantasmas, Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, along with Santos Escobar, taking on MSK. This match was good. Basically, it was everything you could expect. Now, at some point of the match, you see grizzled young veterans who are still trying to be the guys that want to recognize themselves to be the true tag team champions. But however, they screwed another team, and that team is Tommaso Ciampa and Thatcher. But the match was could have ended great. However, Santos got involved, slammed Lee into the stairways, thinking that it could help him win. But the moment he saw that things weren't going his way, he got pancaked by the Colossus Bronson Reed. I was like, boom, whoa. I was like, whoa, that is so, you wouldn't see that one coming even if you were not paying attention. I thought it was great. But it did make Raul Mendoza lose focus. It did give the advantage for MSK to win this match and retain their titles. And I'm saying this is the best match of the night. So I love this one. It's the top for the night for me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Me reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling's Road to Dominion, AEW Dark, giving what matches are taking place for the upcoming pay-per-view for NWA this coming Sunday, and also NXT. There'll be more to come this coming Wednesday. As you know, I'll be adding some new events that I may have missed out from Japan, from Stardom, Ice Ribbon, All Japan, whatever I can find. But the top on the list right now is the latest New Japan Road to Dominion, where the never openweight 6-man tag team championships will be on the line between the current champions Yoshihashi, Goto, and Ishii, taking on LIJ's Bushi, Sanada, and Naito. So whatever I'll throw in for all of you guys, that's what I'm going to do. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day.